Hello everyone. I'm trying to do slightly more regular videos, but that might not stick around. So I think I've done one or two last week, one a week before maybe. I'm trying to keep maybe one a week if I can. But this video is more football, more sport. But in the summer, I brought some PG Tips cards, £1 for the lot, 60 plus. Squad cards, 200 for a fiver. And 100 football stickers, 50p for the lot. So it was just a gamble. Went to the local church car boot that they were doing, and I hadn't actually really started buying sport cards yet. I was just thinking about it, and so this was literally probably my first purchase. What was that? £6.50 for the lot. I thought I'd just show them off a little bit. I've been watching. There's a bloke on YouTube. It might be Sports Cards 88. I found him literally last night, and I've probably watched 7 or 8 of his videos so far. I think it's just fun to go through and see old stickers and old players. So in this bundle, I got a Stan Collymore. Is that Walker? Yeah, Ian Walker. God, what happened to him? Don't know who that is. Craig Burley. But there's just really odds and ends. So this one, you would glue the top down, and it's John Craggs from Newcastle United. I don't know, it's so thin, it doesn't even feel like a sticker. I got a few like hollows in there, the Everton one, and that Merlin pattern has just come back on the newest Merlin box of cards. Chelsea badge, Stephen Pienaar, 2010 World Cup. This person either loved Germany or he hated Germany and didn't stick them in his book, because 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't know why there's 4 German ones and no others. Chris Waddle. I think I've separated out most of the good ones towards the back. But if you're a Spurs fan, maybe you love Milenko Asimovic. This is a funny card. I think this is, 1989-1990. Published by Euroflash for the Sun. Brian Martin of St Mirren. That is interesting to me only on the basis I used to believe, when I used to bet quite a lot. I've not put my horse racing video up yet. It might go up before this. If it did, you'll see like a little bit of my bet history. But I used to do football bets as well. And I believed in probability. Like, if you flip a coin, it's eventually going to land on heads. If it goes tails, 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 eventually it's going to land on heads. Well, so many people out there, they change their teams every week. If you're doing an 8-team accumulator, you're thinking, oh, well, Man United are going to beat Wolves and, I don't know, Burnley are going to get stuffed by Man City, and it only needs Haaland to go off injured and Burnley to put 10 players behind the ball, and suddenly you get a funny result. So instead of changing my teams every week, I used to have a few set teams that I'd always do. So I had St Mirren was one of them, like that sticker. I had a Scottish one, St Mirren, Livingston, Dunfermline, Cowdenbeath, Stenhousemuir. God, there was a couple of others. Just like funny name teams. But I was like, eventually, one weekend, they all have to win. And then like other teams, I used to do Bristol Rovers, Cheltenham, because obviously Cheltenham Festival, Bristol City as well. For some reason, I like both Bristol teams. And I'd just do it. And eventually, even if it once per season, all them teams would have to win. So it was quite like a good little technique that I had. The old JVC kit. Classic kit. What do you think of the old Arsenal badge? Do you prefer it or do you prefer the new one? I quite like the old one. Remember old Lee Hendry? It's funny how you see some of these players and you're like, God, I remember him. Look at that for a shirt sponsor. Doritos Tangy Cheese Kit. Wow, jawline. He should have been a gangster movie, not a footballer. That's an interesting card. Euro 2004. Dwight York. More famous for that kid with Katie Price now, isn't he? Wow, good name, mate. Shame about the haircut and face. Duncan Ferguson, good little player. Everton legend. I think the autos across the sticker look absolutely terrible. I've gone for an above cam today. I used to use this all the time because I haven't got much room. It always kept wobbling and falling, so I went to my new stand one. But if any of you do watch my videos, let me know what one you prefer. Oh, look at that. Double vision. John Solarco. Oh, there he is. Look at those luscious locks of Jamie Redknapp. Oh, another USA card. That'll be Switzerland. Oh, hang on, there's two stuck together there. Or is it just a sticker? No, the sticker was peeled off and put back on. Nottingham Forest. Henningberg. Gary Parker. Wow, mullet. That is a proper American mullet. Rod Wallace. Dwight York again. Gary Blissett. Look at that for a name. Georgie Popescu. Completely different badge. Dan Petrescu. Oh, here we go. Ex-Pompey legend, Teddy Sheringham. Ex-Man United legend, I suppose. Then we've got some of the bigger stickers. Here he is again in the greatest kit we ever had. The Beanie Babies. Look at that. Great kit, that. Leeds. These ones are quite damaged. But Drogba and Essien. Two African legends. Mascherano and Torres. Liverpool fans will enjoy that. And then these were the cards, the stickers that were the best. Bearing in mind, as I say, all these stickers were 50p. I think David Villa was listed at £2 on eBay. Alonso, I think, was £1.50. Van Persie was £1. There's a Vieira on there, listed at 20 quid. Ridiculous. Steve Clark, obviously manager these days. I think he's up at £1.50. Bergkamp was up for, I think one pound had at £3.75, the rest were £2. And this Michael Owen was up at about £8. Official Supporters Club Player of the Year. Quite a cool little sticker, but more one. It's got a big scratch against down the foot there, you can really feel it. But I was just watching these videos last night, as I say, that Soccer Cards 88. And I was like, well, I paid 50p for all these stickers. There's old Walker again. And I was like, I'm just going to have a look through eBay and just see what anything's worth. Next I brought... Oh, actually, yeah. That was all £6.50. And then I brought these England 10 of 16 Squelchers, Star Strikers, it's got Pele on, and Northern Ireland of George Best. I brought those, they were, I think they were £1 each. And I said, oh, you do 3 for £2? And he said, yeah, take the one to loose cover. So the back cover of that one falls off. I'm not going to open them up because they are delicate, but George Best, England Classics, Pele and that for £2. I thought we can't moan at that. The next things he had, how much were these? What are they called? The PG Tips. So this was £1 for the lot. Bad condition, obviously, but that's what they look like on the back. Quite a bit of information: height, date of birth, team, club, then a bit of info. But we've had some Romario. One of my favourites, underrated, Gabriel Batistuta. I don't even know who he is. Imoar Mazinho, Brazilian, if you say so. Is that Laudrup? Yep, Brian Laudrup of Denmark. Absolutely legend, this bloke. Faustino Asprilla. Played for Newcastle. He'd be invisible for 10 games, then he'd do a wonder goal or crazy bit of skill, not the best player on the planet. Old Hendry, famous for that Gaza goal. Juninho. He's got the most free kick goals in history, hasn't he? Who's this one? Bebito. Nice little overhead kick, showing off. Who's this? Thomas Hassler. No idea on him. Schmeichel. That's why he's complaining. Stojkovic. Patrick Kluivert. Dennis Bergkamp, Premier League legend. Is that Djorkaeff? Yep, Yuri Djorkaeff. Davor Suker. Hadji. Skifo. So, all them were £1. And I do wonder, like, I know they're bad condition, but it's 98, people grade with SGC, and are getting 1s, 2s and 3s all the time on proper vintage, like 50s, 40s cards. You add another 20 years to this, and this is going to be the same age. So if they were 4s, 5s, 6s, maybe it's a long-term hold, but you pay £1 for all of them. If in a few years' time people want to give you even a £5 per card for Bergkamp and Romario, I'll just keep everything I've got, so kind of on my side, as it were. Next one is the squad cards. So this was the dear one. This was £5 for all of these. Sorry, people. Neil Maddison, look at that. Throw up, Southampton. We'll just stop on any recognisable players. Dave Besant, not too shabby. Gordon Strachan, look at that. He looks like your nan. Look at that. Unbelievable. Dion Dublin, Homes Under the Hammer. Worst commentator going at the moment, I find. People are always complaining about him. Duncan Ferguson again. Neville Southall. Gary Speed. When he unfortunately killed himself, I moved into our old flat on the same day, and the first time we plugged the TV in, that's the first thing I saw. So I always associate Gary Speed these days with my first house purchase. God, that head looks like it's superimposed. Jason McAteer, that's a classic name. Steve McManaman. How did he ever get to Real Madrid? What was going on there? Best agent in history. Ian Rush, David James, another Pompey boy. Neil Ruddock, Maniac. Phil Babb. Rather have a kebab. Man City in the glory years down their history. Heritage club now. Paul Merson, the player who got us promoted. Tony Adams, Captain Fantastic. John Hartson. Wow, look at that. David Seaman. All I remember of David Seaman is the penalty shootout in '96 and getting lobbed by Ronaldinho. Andy Townsend. Where's he disappeared to? He used to be on... God, was it ITV Football? Oh, here we go. Was he Aussie? Aussie or New Zealand? Mark Bosnich ended up at Man United, didn't he? That's the kind of player these days. You used to think, God, how does Mark Bosnich play for Man United? Now, he'd be the best goalkeeper. They're so shit. Tim Sherwood. Awful, awful, awful is all I'll say there. Graham Lasso. Graham Lasocks. Graham Lasucks. Chris Sutton. Good player. There's old Colin Hendry again. He's still not over Gaza. What do you think all this for a £5? Could you get 25p a card at a card show? 50p a card on the better ones? It's not the realms of possibility, is it? Take your kid along to buy his Pokemon cards. You're walking past a table with these and you're like, oh God, I remember them. Next thing you know, you've brought 10 cards, 25p each, £2.50. It's a little treat for yourself, isn't it? Cheaper than a cup of coffee. You've got some memories back. Chelsea. Another Chelsea before the Russian millions and billions. And now that absolute knobhead. God, I'm going to put some down. Too big a bundle there. Dan Petrescu, we just saw him on the stickers. Tell you the best thing about these cards, the Mitre Ball. The Mitre Ball, it was the greatest ball ever. I was getting a new Mitre Ball every year for Christmas. Kit Simmons. There's one I recognise. No idea. Brian McClare. Nicky Butt. The worst of the class of 92, was it? Andy Cole. Cracking player. I used to have his number on the back of my shirt. I was quite a big Andy Cole fan, even though now you wouldn't even rank him in the top 10 at Man United, would you, striker-wise? Dennis Irwin. He was always Alex Ferguson's favourite, I believe. Unplayable. Gary Walsh. Oh, look at him. Acting hard. Oi, mate, do that again. I'll have your ankles. Look at that. That is... People collect the vintage kits and stuff now. You cannot beat the Newcastle Brown Ale on the thick stripe Newcastle shirt of the 90s. I actually brought that kit. It was that kit or the one around it. Shearer was there, Asprilla was there. And I was like, I brought a Newcastle shirt and I didn't even support them. I just... Full disclosure, my dad used to let me drink Newcastle Brown Ale when I was like 10 years old. At Christmas and if my mum was out. So, I like to drink. I like the shirt. Les Ferdinand. Anyone who's watching this, Google Les Ferdinand, Paul Gascoigne story, Euro 96. Make you laugh. Faustino Asprilla, there he is, there's the legend. Kevin Campbell. Steve Stone, he ends up at Pompey. Here he is. Without this man's loins, we wouldn't have Haaland. Think of that. Obviously being in horse racing. Stallions, people pay millions for their sons. Might as well get a breeding generation going from him, haven't we? Give him 50 women. Get 50 varied Haalands out there. Rufus, that's a great name. Andy Impey, recognise that. God, he looks like he's had a hard life, don't he? Well, plays for Spurs, says it all, don't it? Darren Anderton, my mum fancied the pants off of him. So funny. It was the eyes, she'd always say. Oh, he's got lovely eyes. But that was all of those. That was £5 for all of them. And then, taken out, not good condition or anything, but my favourites. From the PG Tips, there was a Zinedine Zidane card. Ready? We'll take that away. Zinedine Zidane, whether in his usual position of centre midfield or the alternative of attacking midfield, Zidane is in every sense a world-rated player. He's capable of turning defence into instant attack with a strong run or devastating pass to a forward player. Club Juventus, that's how I always picture him, in the black and white of Juventus. Sadly, someone was eating some gravy and got some gravy on the card. But hey ho. Then I've got a Ryan Giggs from the squad cards. That's what the back of them look like, the old Premier League classic logo. I also got a Roy Keane in the squad cards. Slide tackle is always meant to be good at. Should be punch up. And we did get a Beckham in the PG Tips, but someone decided to test their pen on the border. So, not gradable or anything, but I don't have a personal collection as such. But if I was going after players, I think I've mentioned enough times now, Beckham, Zidane, Ronaldo, R9. Roberto Carlos, anything from like Italia in the 90s on Channel 4, Nedved, Maldini, any of the classic teams over there. But David Beckham, despite being born in London, David has been with Manchester United since being signed as a schoolboy. Apart from being a devastating long passer off the ball from midfield, he has scored some crucial goals for Manchester United, particularly the winner in the FA Cup semi-final against Chelsea. But what do you reckon? It was £6.50 for all the cards and stickers. It was £2 for the Squelchers book. And that was just from the local church car boot. I just thought I'd make a little video, just show you that. See you later, everyone. Bye.